Good morning, everybody. Mike Toy here, National Brokerage. Thanks for tuning in to the webcast this morning. Greg Sabala actually will not be making this after all. He had a last minute meeting, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to give everybody just another minute here to get logged in. So I got a few more people here still logging in. So give us just a minute. We'll give everybody a chance to get logged in and here, and then we'll get going. Thanks. Okay, I think we'll go ahead and get started now. Looks like the logins are slowing down. So, all right, without further ado, thanks again for joining. Mike Toy here, Regional Sales Manager with National Brokerage. We team with life agents and PNC and health agents in all 50 states for life insurance and annuities. Today's broadcast, we're going to be talking about the competitive edge. And do you have the competitive edge that you need to beat the competition for your life cases? So let's skip forward here. So real quick too, just to touch on the two main themes that I'll be talking about today. One theme is I'm just going to talk about some changes to be aware of, changes that have happened and changes that you can expect to happen coming up in 2018. Nothing too groundbreaking, but lots of little changes and nuances that you should be aware of. And then second, just going to talk about some real easy sales techniques, just a couple of sales tips that you can do that anybody can do, not just to make more commission, but also to help with client retention. And I'll talk about that in the second half of this. So to dive in here, some of the changes in 2018. One thing we're seeing a lot of is carriers are under a lot of pressure now to find new ways to streamline their processes and lower costs, especially for term. Term costs are going down or trying to across the board. So they're finding newer and more efficient ways to process those cases. And one way that they're doing it is they're coming out with these accelerated underwriting programs. Seems like most carriers have their version of it, and they all call it something different. One will call it simplified issue, another will call it non-med, and they're all slightly different. And you don't have to know all the nuances to them, but I'm just going to lightly touch on some of the differences so that you're aware of it, and then don't be afraid to reach out to us. That's what we do. So anytime you're looking for something like that, or you're asked about something like that and you're not sure, just give us a call. We've got all the details on each one of these carriers programs. So it's better to have a resource, that you can go to figure out the nuances rather than find out afterward. Because what can happen, and what a lot of us have seen happen, and maybe it's happened to you, is someone asks you about a non-med option, you do a little research and figure out, okay, carrier XYZ looks like they've got an accelerated underwriting program. Let's go that way. And you go that way only to find out that maybe it's only non-med for face amounts above 250,000, but less than a million. And yours was, not in that range. So you find out afterward, and then you got to go back to the client and explain how, information was wrong, and now they have to do a paramed after all. That's an embarrassing conversation to have that nobody wants to have. Maybe you have to have it once to just realize how embarrassing it can be. So we want to help you avoid that. We know all those nuances. So, when you talk to us, we ask a lot of questions, but that's why we ask the questions, so that we can help you sort of navigate through and pick the best option for your client, for their rate class and their face amount. How will these changes affect agents? I might be oversimplifying it here a little bit, but basically what it comes down to is there are the agents that either know the nuances or have a resource like us who knows the nuances, and those who don't. And the ones who don't are the ones who have those embarrassing conversations, unwittingly or involuntarily have those embarrassing conversations. So those are really the two types of agents that you're going to see out there. So don't be one of those. Be the one in the know, or have a resource that you can go to so that you can aim right the first time, go with the right carrier and the right product and the right program to avoid any hassles down the road. Now, if all that seems complicated, or if I'm giving you too many details, just rest assured there are opportunities there. For every weakness that you see, there's an equal and opposite strength. And the strength is that some of these programs are really good. There are some who, for example, I can think of one right off the top of my head that if it's less than 250,000 and standard or worse, there is never going to be a medical exam. So that's one nuance to know. There's another one that is up to 1 million for all rate classes, but there might be a paramed if something comes up in the RX search or the MIB search. So those are some of the nuances, but there are opportunities there. So having a resource that you can go to and say, I've got a guy, here's the situation, what can we do? We can look into it and say, wow, this is a perfect program for you. And now you just edged out all the competitors. If there are other agents involved, or maybe there's a financial advisor involved that you're sort of competing with, directly or indirectly. Well, now that you found this program and you can go back to them with something, you just edged them all out and you look like the specialist now in front of your client. So that's an example of where some of the opportunities lie. We go to the next screen here. Okay. So you don't specialize in life insurance. I get that a lot. That's okay. You're not alone. A lot of the agents and the agencies that we work with out there are P&C firms or health agencies, or maybe even divorce attorneys is starting to be a bigger player now, because a lot of divorces require one of the ex-spouses to have life insurance. So regardless of their health class, they have to have a policy on themselves. So none of those groups really specialize in life insurance. That's not to say that there aren't still agents and agencies that don't specialize in life insurance, because there are. But if you don't, that's fine. We specialize in you, put it that way. And think of it this way: it's not just about commissions and making more commissions, which, by the way, you will make more of. It's more about client retention. Let's pretend you're a P&C firm and you're dealing with, valued client, A and valued client B, and you've got their home and auto policies, and but you don't have their life policy because it's something you shy away from. It sounds complicated. You've heard horror stories, maybe, who knows, but you don't venture into those waters. Someone else is, and that someone else, once they get in their foot in the door, you can bet they're going to go for everything else eventually. Maybe not right up front, but eventually they will. And so you'll start to see your clients siphoned off slowly over time, or maybe quickly, depending on how you do it. But just having a resource for life insurance, and just offering it if they want it, even offering it if they don't want it, just something so that they know they can come to you for everything. That is going to greatly reduce the client turnover. So it's more about the client retention than it is the commissions. Now, not to say you won't make commissions too, because you will. I mean, we've got programs that do all the work for you just about, and you still make normal commissions, which I'll get into that in a moment. But that's the one thing I want to emphasize. So don't think of it as a way to make more commissions. It's a way to retain your clients. And that being said, again, just want to say you don't have to know all the details about life insurance or simplified issue options, or which carriers are best for diabetes and which one, how does marijuana fall on the underwriting scale. That's what we do. I call us, we're your life nerds, because that's all we do is life. So we know all those nuances. We know all the underwriting niches, and there's always new situations, but we have our own resources that we can go to for those really unique cases where it could go one way or another and no one's sure. We can dial that in, and we pride ourselves on being able to dial it in pretty accurately for you the first time. Just again, to go back to that, avoiding embarrassing conversations. We don't want to have them with you. We don't want you to have them with your client. So we try to do it right the first time. rather than try it with this carrier. Didn't work? Oh, let's try it with that carrier. Still didn't work. That's what we want to avoid. So you don't have to know the details. That's what we do. One thing you can help us help you is talk to us about the type of clients that you work with the most. Maybe trends you see. Uh, Maybe you deal with lower to middle income folks, but lots of them. That helps us to know, that we know not to talk to you about high-end products that won't apply to them. Or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe you only deal with high-end clients who aren't concerned with small term policies. Whatever the case may be, and everything in between. Just knowing what you deal with the most will help us to help you time-wise and accuracy-wise. So, when you talk with your rep, just talk to them about the type of clients you deal with. And again, there are opportunities everywhere. I know it sounds cliche, but I'll say it again. For every weakness in your game or anyone's game, there is an equal and opposite strength. It's there, even if you don't see it. And that's something that we do is we're used to that, because we deal with P&C firms and health firms. So we will help you identify those equal and opposite strengths and help you find the opportunities and then capitalize on them. So I'll skip forward to the next screen here. Okay, so now going into the sales technique a little bit here. What do we do from here? That all sounds great, Mike. What do I do now? Just ask. Do you have life insurance? Again, not trying to oversimplify it, but oftentimes it really is that simple. That's just a starting point or a jumping board. So when you're dealing with your client and you're working on their home and auto policies, just ask, Mr. and Mrs. Client, do you have life insurance? They're going to say yes, or they're going to say no, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. Just run the quote anyway. It only takes 30 seconds. It's free. It doesn't cost anybody anything, and they're going to appreciate you doing that. You don't have to do it as a hard sale. If they say yes, we have life insurance, but thanks. Okay, no problem. Let me just type it in. I want to make sure that you've got the best rate out there, and if so, by all means, keep what you have. Say that, then it kind of puts their mind at ease a little bit. So what do? You go to natbrokers.com/NB, and that actually should say NB-go. Go there. There's a quote engine. Run the quote. They're going to look at it. It's a percentage game. A lot of them are going to say, no, that's okay. I think I'm good, or mine is better than that. Okay, no problem. Well, if it ever changes, let me know. We can always run a new quote then. They're going to remember that down the road. So they're going to remember the fact that they can come to you. You're going to look into things that maybe they didn't think to look into, and you're not doing it with the intent of, doing a hard sale and shoving it down their throat. You're just doing it because you're looking out for them. They will appreciate that later on down the road. So when something does happen, then they think, oh, life insurance, that's something I probably should look into. Let me call my agent. He ran a quote for me that one time. I'm sure he could do it again in 30 seconds. You'll be surprised the after effects that just doing that simple trick will have for you. So again, just ask, do you have life insurance? Yes? No? Okay, let me run you a quote. You run them a quote. Now, I'm going to address something too on that. One thing that stops a lot of agents, I think, from doing that simple thing, just running the quote, is the fact that they don't specialize in life insurance. So they're a little hesitant to even venture into those waters because, goodness forbid, they get asked any questions on it that they don't know. And now they've maybe lost a little bit of credibility in the eyes of their client. And that's what they're afraid of. But I will say that is, while it's a reasonable thing to think, it's not going to happen as much as you think it's going to happen. Just know the basics. This is what a term policy is and how it works. It works for a specific term period, 10 years, 20 years, whatever the case. And this is a permanent policy. Permanent policies cost more because they're permanent. They last forever. Just knowing those two things is a great starting point. That's more than most of your clients will know. And then from there, just knowing even a couple of nuances or sales tips will help. That will make you look like the expert and the specialist in the eyes of your client. So jump out of your comfort zone just a little bit on that and run the quote. It will work out for you in the end. And once you get one doing it that way, you'll be surprised. All of a sudden, then you're not afraid to do it, and you're trying to do it. Now you're asking every time, and you're sure to do it because that little 30 seconds that you took to run that quote resulted in $1,000 sale for you on life insurance that you wouldn't have had you not spent that 30 seconds. And it resulted in a stickier client that you're less likely to lose because they've got all their lines of insurance with you. So, in conclusion to that that slide, if you just make a habit of those two steps every time you're talking to your clients and reviewing their policies, your life sales will increase. Whether it's a little, whether it's a lot, that I don't know. It depends on how you do it and your type of clients, but it will increase. And that's not even the best part. That's just the starting point. I'm going to show you what to do when they say yes. Let me skip forward here. Okay. So you ran the quote, and now you have someone who said yes. They want the life insurance. Now what do? It's easy. On the same screen that you ran the quote, next to the quote that they want, just click go. When you click go, it's going to ask if they want to pay monthly or annually. Click the one you want. So let's say you click monthly. From there, it's going to ask for your information as the agent. So you type in your information, Joe, agent, here's my phone number, here's my email, here's my license number. Then you click go again. It will ask for your client's information, their name, phone number, email, and what time we should call. Then you click submit, and you are done. You don't have to do anything else beyond that. So what happens from there is you tell your client, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I'm going to have someone from my life insurance team give you a call, and they'll go over the application with you over the phone, and they'll make it super easy and simple and quick for you. Great, that sounds fantastic. So then our team will call on your behalf. They call and say, hi, we're calling on behalf of Joe Agent. It looks like you guys talked about a 20-year term for $100,000. Premium is X amount. Do you have a few minutes to go over the application? Yes. Okay, great. They go over the application, fill it all out. From there, they will send out a copy for e-signature. You will get a copy, and they will get a copy. You just click on it, it signs your name, it automatically comes back to us. Our team then will schedule paramedics, chase down APS records if it comes to that. We do all the back office work. The case manager will handle the whole thing. They'll deal with the underwriter and the carriers. And so, again, all you had to do was click go and submit. You put in your info, their info, and you're done. So just to recap a little bit of that, yes, do they have life insurance? Yes, no. Here's a quote. Oh, you like it? Great. Click go, put in your info, put in their info, and you are done. You don't have to worry about it. Now, you can check the status. That doesn't mean that you're out of the loop. It doesn't mean that you won't know what's going on and you've just lost control of your client. If they're still your client, you own the case, you own the client, you have total control over it. All you do is you go to your OES account, which let's see if I can highlight it here. Nope. Whoop. Of course not. I figured I would do that. Let me go back. So I'm not going to try and highlight that, but here it is right here. OES.natbrokers.com. Log in. If you don't have an OES account yet, get with your rep here and we'll get you set up with one. But in the OES, you can check case status at any time. It's in real time, so you can see notes from the underwriter between the underwriter and the case manager. You can see what requirements are still outstanding, if there are any. You can see what's waiting on the client, what's waiting on the underwriter. You can see everything that's going on. Also from there, just a side note, you can run sales reports and see what kind of sales you've done over the past year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever it's been. You can check your place percentage and see, well, I submitted 10 of these and only 2 of them placed. So what's going on here? Or maybe I submitted 10 and all 10 have placed. Wow, I'm doing something great. So you can run sales reports 1,000 different ways in the OES account. And that's just skimming the surface of what you can do in that system. So if you're not familiar with it or you don't have one, give your rep a call here, and we'll get you set up with one and give you a little tutorial on how to use it. The point to that was that you can check the case status of the case that you submitted 24/7 in the OES. Skip forward here. Okay, the next screen here. So what can you expect? What should you expect from your GA, being us? I guess a better way to put it here is that what we want to do is we want to make lofty goals. We want to set the bar high for you and for us, just so because we know what the opportunities are out there. Like I said, we deal with PNC firms and health firms all the time. Firms that don't think they're going to do a lot of life or don't think the opportunities are there. And then after talking with them, we find that they are there. They were there the whole time, and all they needed was a couple of tweaks to how they do things and tools to capitalize on it. So therefore, we set the bar high, and we want to help you achieve those goals. One way that we separate ourselves from other GAs in the business is by assisting with from everything starting with the initial question to commission, or application submission to commission is one catchphrase we use a lot. But we help you with everything in between: sales tips, tools, underwriting niches, underwriting expertise. All those things are things that we specialize in and that we can do for you and with you. And what we want to do, what we look for more than anything, is we just look for good partnerships that work together in finding ways to customize what we do to your business and your way of doing things, because every firm and every agent is a little different. So we just want to find agents that we can partner with to work with you in how you do things. So if you haven't worked with us before, and as you're kind of new to us or with us, give us a call and have a talk with us. We'll let you know some of the ways that we can help you in what you do, and if there's things that you do that maybe it's something we don't specialize in, we're pretty upfront about that too. We'll say that's not really in our wheelhouse. We've got these options, but this is really our area of expertise over here. So we're not just going to try to do everything all the time. We're realistic on where we excel and where we don't. So that's something that I would touch on there. So I'm going to skip forward to the next one here. So questions and answers from here. I know that this one was kind of a short one. I didn't want to get into too much detail. I just wanted to keep it sort of simple, to the point, and give you information that is practical and that you can use going forward. Not the type of thing that you can walk away from going, wow, that was fantastic. That was a lot of information, and then you forget it. Halfway through the day. I want to just give you two simple things: the changes coming up in the underwriting world, and then a simple sales technique. So that being said, let me go ahead and answer some questions. If you have a question, just type it into the box. I'm going to answer this here. One question is, how much of a cut in commission by using the NBGO process? Great question. Sorry, I didn't cover that. There's no cut in commission. So using NBGO, where we call on your behalf to take the application, is the same commission it would be if you filled out the entire application yourself. So don't be afraid to use that. The reason behind that too is that the team that we have calling out to take these applications, that's all they do. They don't do any selling. They just fulfill the application. So they're really good at it. They're efficient. They know exactly what questions to ask. They know what T's definitely have to be crossed, what I's need to be dotted. That's what they specialize in. Agents typically, maybe not you, but there's a stereotype out there that agents aren't as good with paperwork as they are with selling. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who knows? But these guys are good with paperwork. So you can focus on selling and relationship building, doing what you do. We do the paperwork. So that reduces place time. So cases place quicker. They place more efficiently with less redundancies, less going back and forth, going, oh, hey, you forgot to sign this. Oh, I needed an initial here or a date there. Oh, your client needed to initial this. There's none of that. So we skip all that stuff. So it's better for you. It's better for us. It's better for the client. It's better for the carrier. So that's how we do it without taking a commission cut from you. So good question. Thanks for asking. Let's see what else we got. Another question is, what carriers have a simplified issue program? I would say most at this point, not all, but most of them have some type of accelerated underwriting program. And you'll hear it called different things. You'll hear simplified issue. You'll hear accelerated underwriting. You'll hear non-med. Sometimes the term guarantee issue gets thrown in there, but that's really not accurate. That's more for final expense. Point is, most carriers have some version of it. And the most common one that you're going to see nowadays is sort of a hybrid between a traditional underwriting and an accelerated underwriting, meaning when you apply, the attempt is made to avoid a pyramid. The attempt is, by doing that, they check the MIB records, they check RX history and MBR history. If nothing is flagged in that process, then they can continue on without the pyramid. And different carriers have different success rates with that based upon their underwriting, but they all, most of them reserve the right to require a pyramid. So let's say you try that route, but it turns out your client takes, lots of oxycodones, every day. That's going to throw up a flag. Then they're going to come back and say, well, unfortunately, this one can't go accelerated underwriting. We will end up needing a paramed exam. So then they get with us, we get with you, you get with your client, figure out if that's still the way you want to go, and then we go from there. Typically, the gut reaction sometimes is, well, let's try a different carrier, but realistically, if it triggered with one, it's a good chance it'll trigger with the rest too. So, anyways, but that's something that we talk about when it comes up. So most carriers have a variation of it, of some type. Get with us, and we can talk with you about some of the major differences between the carriers, and then by looking at your client base and seeing what kind of clients you deal with the most, maybe narrow it down to 2 or 3 that would be most applicable to you. Let me skip to the next one. Does OES cost anything? No, OES is free. That's just a free CRM that we offer to all the agents that we work with. So if you don't have one or you can't remember your login, maybe you had it at one point, get with your rep here and we'll get you set up in there. Let's see if there's any other questions. Got a question here. You put together a spreadsheet with your carriers and the non-med limits and carrier specific. Yeah, we can do that. I think most reps here have something like that. The only challenge to it, just so you know, to be realistic, is that it changes frequently. This carrier will modify theirs, and that carrier will, take theirs away or add a different one. So it changes a lot. It's kind of a, I would call it a fluid situation in the underwriting world. So take it with a grain of salt. It's still best to, if you've got a really important one, check with your rep beforehand just to make sure that no major changes have happened. And if your rep is, if they're familiar with what you do and how you do it, and you've got a regular carrier or a regular type of client, we'll probably let you know too. We'll let you know proactively, hey, just so you know, Protective changed this and now it's better. Now it higher face amounts are accepted, that type of thing. So we'll be in touch with you too as changes happen if they're relevant to what you do. But that's a long way of saying yes, we can put a spreadsheet together. So get with your rep, and we'll do that. Let's see. Can the website can the YouTube channel be found by searching National Brokerage on YouTube search bar? If not, then how? Question is, or answer is yes, it can. If you go on YouTube, search for National Brokerage, um, you will. It should come right up for you. It has every time I've tried. If for some reason you can't find it, ask your rep and we'll send you the link. Um, it's a good channel. There's right now there's probably 8 or 9 videos on there, and there's going to be about 8 or 9 more uploaded soon. They're very quick, to the point. 3 to 4 minute videos on specific topics. One will be about living benefit riders. Another will be about simplified issue. So just really good resource to find bullet point information on specific topics, and as well as some other general concepts and sales techniques. So yes, just search National Brokerage and you'll find it on there. Let's see, how do you subscribe to YouTube channel? So when you go to the YouTube channel, here, in fact, let me see if I can show you here. Nope, I can't. When you go to the YouTube channel and you find it, let's say you find one of the videos, it'd be me that you would see on there. Just when you see me on there, go to the video and then it will show who uploaded that. Click on the NB icon. It'll take you to the National Brokerage page, and then there will be a button that says subscribe. Just click on subscribe. And feel free to leave comments on the videos too. I respond to those pretty quickly when they come up. So if you saw something you liked, whether it's a comment or a question, whatever it is, just type it in. I get back to you pretty quickly. Let's see, on to the next one. National Life, we were told not to use them. Why? I don't know the answer to that. I would have to see. Oh, okay. I see what it is. National Life. I guess I don't know what the reasoning was when you were told that, or when you were told. So I don't have a good answer for you on that. I know that National Life did change up some of their contracting, and things have changed there. So I would say get with your rep. And I'm not trying to elude the question. I just don't have the answer to that right now. So give us a call and we'll look into it for you. So sorry, I don't have the answer on that one right now. Let's see, I got another one here with a thank you. You're welcome. Can the videos be embedded onto my website? Yes, they can. Get with your rep and we'll show you how to do that. There's a couple ways to do it. You can either upload the video directly onto your website, or you can more iframe it in, but there's different ways to do it. But yeah, the easy answer is yes, it can be done. So give us a call and we can put that on. And also I'll throw out there too, if there is a specific topic you would like to know about or like to see a video on, maybe you want to see a video on clients with diabetes because you come across that a lot. Let me know. Let your rep know, and we'll do one on diabetes for you. If that will help you with your sales, there it's pretty easy to do that. So get with us if you've got a topic you'd like to see. Moving on to the next one here. I think that is it. Let me just double check here. I think that about covers all the questions. If you have any other questions, let us know. You can call us or email us, or just leave it in one of the YouTube video comment sections, or talk to your rep if you have a rep. We're pretty responsive with whatever way that you prefer to communicate. So um, thank you for attending the webcast today on the competitive edge. And the two main themes we covered, just again to recap, is the changes in the underwriting world, the addition to a lot of these accelerated underwriting programs, and a simple sales technique. Just to recap that in 10 seconds or less, just ask, do you have life insurance? Yes, no, fantastic. Run them a quote. Do those two things, your sales will increase without a doubt, and um, you will create more stickiness with your clients and help in client retention. So um, if you haven't seen us yet on the YouTube channel or LinkedIn or Facebook, please add us on all the above. We'll add you back. We're always posting new content, different marketing materials that you can use that can be branded to you, as well as just sales concepts and different informative videos. So add us and like the videos there. Thanks again for attending, everybody. Much appreciated. Hope you all have a great day, and I hope that this sales tip will help you with your life sales. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye bye.